Hello everyone, this is Coach of the Diancies. This is week 5 of MLD, and we are facing off against the WarSaw Wooloos. So, last time we lost, it was unfortunate, but we did lose, and I am determined to not lose this time. The team I'm facing is definitely scary. I definitely have some ones that can be a big threat. However, I think I have a much better matchup than I did last time. But let's just go through that team. So first off is Arctivish. It's their only water type, which is kind of weird because it's Arctivish. But it's still definitely a threat, especially under Tailwind. And there are a couple Tailwind setters that they have, as I'll get into. Or under Trick Room, where its base 55 speed is actually pretty good for Trick Room, honestly. And then it just clicks the funny Fisher's Brain button and kills my entire team because I don't have a water absorber. I know you see it on this grid, but surprisingly, Arctivish does have abilities other than water absorb. So if they decide to go Ice Body, I could definitely be in trouble. Next is their Fire type, which is Volcarona. Volcarona is definitely scary. It can be Quiver Dance, or well, it's mainly Quiver Dance, but it's just being that one track thing, and it be having that 4 times rock weakness means absolutely nothing. With heavy duty boots, it circumvents that rock weakness just by not taking stealth rocks damage, and it is really, really scary as a Quiver sweeper because it's bulky and it just runs you over. Rillaboom is next, which is the Z user. It actually has a pretty good amount of coverage. It gets like knockoff acrobatics, high horsepower, stuff like that. It gets U-turn too. Gets taunt too. Its main thing is that it has Grassy Surge with the priority Grassy Glide, which is pretty cool. Surprisingly, it does not get Rock Slide, so that's pretty good for me, as we'll see. But yeah, it is one of their Z users. I forget if I didn't mention that. So it can just do a ton of different things after you're ready for the ball. And I think I am. Togekiss is next, and with Serene Grace and Air Slash, that's a 60% chance to flinch. It also gets some coverage like Aura Sphere and stuff, and Nasty Plot. It also can run pretty bulky with like Roost and Defog and stuff like that, and Thunder Wave. Just that's sort of like a utility thing as well. Excadrill is next, and I guess Rapid Spin, which is very good. Got it buffed to where it raises your speed. It gets Stealth Rocks too, and it can function as sort of that Suicide Lead sort of thing with like Stealth Rocks and Steel Beam, or it can just be like a Sword Stance Sweeper, or it can just hit very hard with Band or Scarf or whatever. Gets like Rock Slide and Shadow Claw and a couple stuff like that too. Next is their Dynamax Mon Braviary with Defiant. Every time its stat is lowered by like something like Defog or something, I don't know. Its attack gets +2 attack, which is very scary, especially coupled with Dynamax. And just how easy Dynamax is to just lower stats, like with Max Darkness or Max Phantasm or Max Wormwind or something like that. That all will trigger Defiance, so I have to be very careful around that if I do so choose to Dynamax my Ditto. Next is Hoopa Confined. It's their Z user. It still is pretty scary, even though it has that 4 times weaknesses. It still gets like Thunderbolt and Focus Blast and stuff, and it can still run either Calm Mind or Nasty Plot or whatever. Plus, Magician is a very good ability, like very good. Mega Audino is next. We lost to Audino last week, and now we're facing just a better version of it. I mean, it doesn't have leftovers actually, so it might not be a better version, but it's better stats wise. Can run basically the same stuff. It's like it has Heal Bell and Wish and Protect and all that stuff. Latios is next. I believe it's Latios, the blue one, not Latias, the other one. So Latias could do a couple different things. It could be Calm Mind, it could be Defog, it could be Scarf, or it could be Specs. I am most scared of the Specs one, however, I am inclined to believe that they will go Scarf in order to outspeed Coco and stuff like that. Either way, I do have to be ready for that, because Specs Draco Meteors, it does way too much damage, like really, it just does. Morpeko is next. With its signature move Oral Wheel, it raises its speed and the changes from electric to dark type. Plus, it also gets some coverage and like Seed Bomb and Brick Break and stuff. It also gets Parting Shot and Foul Play and Rapid Spin. just for utility stuff. And then finally we have Surfetch, which is a very good wall breaker. It's incredibly hard with close combat, knockoff, Brave Bird, all that stuff. It gets Swords Dance too. And I believe that is their team. So I am now going to run through my team that I am using to hopefully beat them. So first off, we have Ditto. Yeah, same sort of Ditto thing as last time. It's basically just a thing that they can't set up sweep on me with Ditto up. Like with Volcarona, it's very scary. But with Ditto, it sort of neutralizes that threat. Like, because I can just go and copy Dynamax, and then now they were sweeping me, now I am sweeping them. Same sort of scenario may apply to like Nasty Plot, Togekiss, or stuff like that. Or maybe Braviary or whatever. But yeah, Ditto is definitely good, especially just sort of as Dynamax stuff. So next up we have Skarmory. So we are in Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet is good just to punish U-turn and just physical attacks. Because they have quite a few physical attackers. They have like Rillaboom, Excadrill, Braviary, Surfetched, all stuff I expect to come. And Rocky Element is good for just punishing that. Body Press and Iron Defense couple well together, especially for this physically defensive role Skarmory is using, versus for longevity and spikes as part of our hazard stacking strategy we'll use. And I'll get more into detail on that with a later mod, but yes, we are running a hazard stacking strategy. If you're wondering why we're running all that speed, so we outspeed Jolly Arctovish, because Arctovish is actually kind of a threat, like, not gonna lie. And then I just put the rest in defense and HP. Moltres is next. We're bringing Moltres back, and we're running a mix set. With the Flame Body ability, let's go, maybe we'll get a Flame Body burn, I don't know. We're running Defog. I was going to put Defog on Skarmory, but I figured Spike would be better for the hazard stacking. And plus, with the hazard stacking, I would be more inclined not to click Defog anyway, so, you know, it's just there in case I really need to have it, or in case they run Rapid Spin and actually manage to get the spin off. Brave Bird is good because it circumvents the special defense raises from Quiver Dance and Volcarona. Like, if I was running Hurricane, I would have to worry about misses and it just not doing enough after enough Quiver Dances, especially if they're running bulky Volcarona. Brave Bird just throws all of those ideas away and says, no, Volcarona is definitely dying. And then I just put Flamethrower because I wasn't going to run Flare Blitz. Just because of the recoil. And so I just put the rest in defense, special defense, and HP. So Coco, I believe it is easy to live any hit from Latios, even Specs Latios. With Roost, it has that longevity in close combat is for Excadrill, Wild Charge is mainly for Togekiss. I don't really expect Togekiss, but just in case they bring it, Coco will most definitely be going to check to that. And then Play Rough, just as a good move, hits pretty much everything, except like Volcarona and Excadrill, and I have other ways to beat those. Specifically Moltres for Volcarona. And then it also hits Latios, which is super effective. I believe it kills Latios if it's not invested like every time, although it could be wrong. It might be a roll. Either way, I know it just has a chance to kill anyway. And it does kill after Stealth Rock, so that's nice. Next, we are bringing Drapion again. We are bringing Black Sludge. And we put Toxic Spikes, which is the other half of our spike / hazard stacking strategy. Dog Pursuit and Poison Jab. If you hadn't noticed, we are running a very defensive team. And just having the Toxic Spikes doing constant residual damage will force them to switch a lot and respond to our defensive threats. Well, not our defensive threat, but just our defensive mons, so we can continue being able to click like Roost or just moves like that for free. And so it makes it just a lot harder for them to break our defensive cores. Knockoff and Pursuit are always nice. I believe Pursuit always kills Koopa and does quite a lot to Latios as well. And then Poison Jab is mainly for Mega Audino and for Rillaboom. And then finally we're bringing Corsola again. So it's Stealth Rock. We're running Max Def because otherwise Latios actually just beats our entire team. I am aware that Side Shock exists, but if it does so Side Shock, we just go Drapion and Pursuit Trap it. Nice. Will-O-Wisp, just so Corsola doesn't instantly die to physical threats. Plus, Corsola is sort of acting as our Excadrill check, because with the Ghost type, it will spin block, it will block the rapid spin so they can't remove the hazards if they're running rapid spin Excadrill, and then straight chop and nightshade, just kind of the two moves you will always run on Corsola, because recovery and damage. And that's it, so let's get to the replay. So just looking at this, I see no Volcarona, no Arctivish, and no Braviary, which I am very happy with. Togekiss is also nice to not see. There are Excadrill, Hoopa, Mega Audino, Latios, Rillaboom, and Sirfetch'd. So, a couple things I expected, like Rillaboom, Latios, stuff like that, Excadrill. And I didn't really expect Hoopa or Sirfetch'd that much, but, I mean, let's just see how it goes. I decided to lead Koko. As you see, they lead Sirfetch'd. The reason I ran Koko is because there was basically zero drawbacks to that. The only things Koko didn't beat were Audino, Rillaboom, and Excadrill, and I have immediate responses and counters to all three of those. They're basically what I meant to do now is just force them into one of those counters, this thing being Audino, as I just get my first playoff off. It does 31% damage, which says this is a specially defensive Audino, not a physically defensive one. But either way, now that Audino is in, I do not believe Audino gets teleport. And so what I can do is I can just go Drapion and hopefully get my first layer of Toxic Spikes up, please. Why is this lagging? Anyway, they go for Wish. And so they go back into Sirfetch'd now. Maybe expecting a Poison Jab or a knockoff. I just go for Toxic Spike because that is the best thing I can do. Moltres is sort of my Sirfetch'd deck. Skarmory also works, but to a lesser extent because it doesn't resist the fighting moves. Either way, they're for knockoff now, which is not exactly ideal for me because my heavy duty boots are gone, which makes it hard for me to defog. But like I said, I wasn't really going to defog anyway, and the Flame Body Burn is definitely very good for me. Although if they do have Heal Bell on Audino, they might be inclined to just put that off. Anyway, I just go for Roost, and figure this is as good a moment as any to just click Brave Bird. Whatever comes in, it's not going to appreciate the hit. And so I just go for Brave Bird on the Hoopa. And what happens is it does a lot. Anyway, I just go Drapion because why would I not? It's like it is at full health. And yeah. They go for Destiny Bond, maybe expecting me to just finish it off. But no, I think Drapion was definitely a better idea there. Especially if they were clicking a Z move. Anyway, since they're Destiny Bonding and I have speed them, I can't attack them. I just go and set up my second layer of Toxic Spikes while their Hoopa just dies. yeah, Hoopa dies. So this is pretty good for me. Excadrill comes out, and like I said, I am going into Corsola to hopefully block the Rapid Spin. I know that's probably what their priority is going to be, and yep, spin blocked, Toxic Spike stay. Excadrill did 40% with Earthquake, which is about what the calc stated it would if it was like just max attack. Jolly, I believe. So I can get my Will-O-Wisp here. And now I basically just get to Strength Sap for 3. They get their Stealth Arcs up, which is a minor inconvenience to me, but the Spikes and Toxic Spikes, well, I haven't said Spikes yet, but hopefully I will in the future. Those hazards that I'm setting are a lot more inconvenient for them than their hazards are for me. So anyway, my Corsola can now basically be at full health, and I just consider this a good moment as any to just click Nightshade. I could have gotten my Stealth Arcs up, but I was fearing a knockoff, so I just went into Skarmory as they go for Heal Bell. And so now, since Audino is definitely, I don't know, it's not really the best thing for the Skarmory unless they have like Flamethrower or something. And I figured they probably wouldn't, so I just go for Spike myself as I go into Latios. And so what I figure is, okay, so let's assume this is not Defog Latios. It could be. Let's assume it isn't. What would they do? They are attacking my Skarmory with what move? It could be Draco Meteor, it could be Psychic, it could be Thunderbolt. I figure they won't go for Psychic, they'll go either for Draco Meteor or Thunderbolt, and Koko is a good switch into both of those. And, as it so happens, they go for Thunderbolt and deal basically 0 damage. And that is a very good for me, because now I basically just get another free player off, as they have to switch out into Audino, take Spike damage, take the player off damage, and then get the toxic poison puts them in range of another player off, which, as it so happens, it does hit, and now the auto-no is gone, their main defensive wall, it's gone. So what they do now is they send an Excadrill, and I figured, if this thing was not invested, which the fact that it is max attack inclines me to believe that it is not invested in HP or defense or anything like that, I do just go for close combat. And if you look at the chat, I do ask like how much they were invested in Excadrill just to see if that was a roll. It was not a roll. They were not invested. And so with the leftovers in Coco, I'm basically at full health. Their Excadrill is gone. Their Auto-no is gone. They have like absolutely zero answers to my stuff now. And this Latios goes for Earthquake, and now Latios is gone because it just dies to play rough. And at this point, Skarmory cannot lose. Basically, when Hoopa and Latios left, Skarmory could not lose. Because it would just set up Iron Defense and just be able to outlast everything and just kill it all with Body Press. And now I basically just have to figure out how I'm going to get Skarmory in, and, well, this Rillaboom seems like a very good opportunity for me to do that. So I just send in Skarmory in. If they go for Swords Dance, I live a hit. They go for Grassy Glide, which I figured they would do, because that would be their only way to really kill Coco like that, and they don't know if I have Brave Bird or something. Like, they don't know what I could be. They go for Knockoff here, taking a ton of damage from just Life Orb and Rocky Helmet and all of that. And I just go for Iron Defense, because with that Iron Defense, unless they crit, I should live, and even if they do crit, I have a Ditto, and I can just Dynamax it and win like that. But I decided just to go for Roost, hopefully preserve like a 6-0 maybe, just for differential. Either way, Skarmory is in a position where it can't lose, and so I just figure it's going to die to Life Orb, set up another Iron Defense, so that we definitely cannot lose, even if they have like Sword Dance and stuff like that. They won't be able to break through, anything like that. But as it turns out, I outspeed them, and I just killed them with Body Press. So that's good. In terms of play, like what I could have done better, I think I did pretty well, actually. Like, I had a plan, I executed it, and it worked well. In terms of just stuff like that, I think I definitely had an easier matchup this week than last week. So I guess I had sort of an advantage like that. But I figured running like sort of the Electric Train strategy wasn't as good an idea because they had Rillaboom. And I figured if I did that, they would put a lot of effort into preserving Rillaboom and Excadrill for that. And so basically, I don't know, maybe it would have been good like that. Because Skarmory, what I would be able to do is I'd be able to just pivot between Coco and Skarmory and then sort of force myself into a good situation, sort of no matter what they do. And that was sort of my idea when building this team, which was, if I'm forcing myself into a good situation, they will have to switch a lot. And if they have to switch a lot and I have hazards down, then I will be gaining an advantage over time. I don't know, we're 4-1 now, so we're no longer like the top team, but we're still very good. I would say that we're set for playoffs. We are not. This is a 15-week league, and we're only in week 5 now. Yeah, hopefully I can get another win in week 6. And I guess all I can say is I will see you then. So that's it. See you next time.